Warning, what you are about to see is being done by a highly educated, highly skilled idiot. Do not do this at home. I have 62 years experience of doing dumb stuff. Don't do this at home. It could be dangerous to your health. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, I have a propensity for doing weird stuff. I have to come up with ways that I can accomplish things because I have multiple sclerosis and my back has problems. So I have to come up with creative ways to do stuff. Now, in the past, I've come up with ways. I have showed you how to plant tomatoes without bending over. I've showed you how to harvest other stuff without bending. I made a harvester for picking fruit without getting up on a ladder at the tree. There's just all kinds of stuff that I do to modify things to make it to where I can do them with the least amount of effort. Well, today I want to do one of those same kinds of projects. Out by my raised beds, in between them, anywhere here that you don't mow regular, grows up in blackberry briars. That's just what it does. Blackberries, I have an abundance of them here on the property, and of course we harvest them and make jelly and jam, and yeah, you know, blackberry vinaigrette for a salad dressing. We use them for all kinds of stuff. Blackberry syrup for ice cream. But they create a problem in between the beds. I've got the beds at a width. I probably should have made them easy enough that I could get my tractor in between them, but I didn't do that. So I'm going to have to come up with a way of trimming in between them. The weed eater is insufficient. My little electric weed eater. So when I bought the weed eater, I bought a chainsaw and a hedge trimmer. Okay? Now, this is a Bauer hedge trimmer. In order to make the go, you've got to have your hand here, and there's a switch, a dead man switch, and then the power switch right here. So you have to have the dead man switch pressed and the power switch pressed. If I press the power switch, see, without the dead man, I get nothing. So what I want to do is I want to make a handle that comes up here like this, comes out and down, and it keeps this compressed, and it'll have a trigger up here so that when I hold this, it can be down at ground level and I can cut with it, but I don't have to bend over to cut with it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. I'm all time doing these little weird projects. I don't know what kind of stuff it's going to require. So these videos often, they show stuff that you're just not going to see other places. I show you when I start something and screw it up, and I show you when I fail. Sometimes I fail. I may not be able to come up with nothing that would be safe enough for me to use. Okay, so I'll just bring you along for the ride, and my first attempts at doing this. It's not rocket science, but it is a little bit of an engineering problem. I'm not going to do any math. I'm just gonna wing it and see if I can come up with something. So y'all just come along. Okay, here are my challenges. I'm sure zip ties are going to be involved. I have about got it in my head what I want to do. I've been thinking about it for a week. So I think I can put a piece of wood right here and another piece of wood that comes back off of that right up here so that there's a place for me to have a hand grip. Then this right here is the entire length of this. So I cannot come in right in here and fasten this onto something up there. Okay, I just can't. So it would be in the way of the trigger. But if I come right here and put a board coming up here, I don't want to be in the way of the battery. The battery will need to change. You know, I may not be able to get a full cleanup out there on one battery, so I may need to change the battery. And I want to be able to take this off in case I want to use it as a hedge trimmer. Okay? So, with that thought, I think I can put a board right here and put the clamp part right there in here. And that would not bother this if I'm using a cable tie. So a piece of wood that'll come back here. I don't know how high it needs to be. I'll have to figure that out. But a piece of wood that comes back to here, comes back up here, and then a piece of wood here that comes back up there, and then a handle, and then I'll have to make a trigger mechanism of some kind. And again, I'm sure cable ties will be involved. So I'm going to start off by getting this ready. That can sit right there with cable ties and hold that. So now I want to get a board of some kind on that. So I don't know, I may be able to use this same. I'm using an old scrap piece of 1/2-inch plywood. It might be sufficient for what I'm wanting to do. So let's just get a screw in this. And see if it will be sufficient. And it doesn't matter what kind of screw as long as it's not too long. Okay, I keep a pile of these 1-inch drywall screws. I think they will work out just fine. Oh, I don't, is that a, no, that's the wrong bit. I got to get a bit put on. I think I got the right screw now, the right bit. Just set the bits over here. Is that right? Yeah. This don't have to be perfect. Put one right there. Well, be that way. There we go. One. Two. And they don't come through. They just touch through a little bit, but it's not enough to scratch it on. Alright. Okay, I think I can fasten this right here with cable ties, and that will depress the switch right there and then hold this on. So let's grab some heavy duty cable ties and see if we can do that. Okay. One. Two. And that's got them held sufficient. Now, let's see what else I need to do. And I'm doing this all out of just old scrap junk that's here in the shop. So, if I fasten that one right there, yep, that looks like that might work. But what I'm afraid of is that if I don't indent this, it will come out. So I think I'll drill a hole through that. Now, is that big enough for one of those heavy duty things to go through? And the answer to that's yes. Guesstimation. Oh yeah, and I think that'll have it up off the ground enough so I don't have to bend over. Alright, let's get this up here, back up on the saw. My camera cut off. I just fastened this right here with a zip tie. Now I've got one of these. It's for a paint stick, but I think I can mount this right like that, where it's kind of level, and it will be fine. Can you see it? You can't even see it. Alright, here we go. I think I can mount this right like that, where it's kind of level, and it will allow me to put a hand grip. I can put something on that and make a nice hand grip, and then make it go down to the switch. So let's get it mounting this. Remember, this is all just trial and error. Up there. And this might not be strong enough to hold. I might have to do all kinds of stuff to it to make it hold. It may make it too dang heavy for me to use. But okay, time to find some screws. Okay, I found a 1 5/8. I've got a 1 5/8 deck screw. I think I can make it drill into this, but what I'm going to do is, before trying to drill into it up there, I am going to make a pilot hole in this maple handle. And one at the other end, because I don't want it splitting it out, but I want it to start easy. Alright, let's see if I can get this up here and get it started. Okay, there's one side started. Need a better bit. Okay, let me find the right bit. Okay, found a bit that might work better. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Now, how does that hold? Let's have a look. There it is. Holding it with one hand. Might have to hold it like that. Still kind of heavy. It'll be kind of heavy for one hand. I might have to use two. I might have to use two like that. But I don't think, see, I might have to use two hands like that, but that's got it where I can stand straight up and get right close to the ground. Now, we've got to come up with a trigger. Okay, I think I can use this board, this piece of board, as my trigger. I need to drill 3 holes in it, and that will allow me to do it like a trigger. So I'm going to do that. Let's drill some holes. One here. here. And then one at this end. Now, let's see if we can mount that like a trigger. Lighter duty cable ties, because they cost less and they're easier to replace. Well, that package is sealed. Usually when you tear those off, they're just open. Alright, where's my pocket knife? Do I not have it? I washed my bibs yesterday. Oh, there it is. Okay. I won't cut it plumb open because that way you don't have to worry about them spilling out all the time. Alright, 1, 2, 3. That's what I need. So, I start off right here and put one. Then right here and put one. And I did it backwards. Well, poop. That is why I want to use cable ties. When you mess up, it's easy to start over. One. Two, and that allows me to go like this. Okay, that might have to be elongated, but might have to get a longer one. But that should give me some motion. Now, the next cable tie goes right here. And now I've got to come up with something to go from here to there to connect that cable tie to. Okay, found something. Up there. I may have to cut this 2 or 3 times. Get 2 holes drilled in it. Okay, let's install it and see what happens. Hillbilly engineering, I love it. Okay, this one can get installed with a white one. And I don't want to make it tight, but I might have to tighten it up. I think I can put a white one on the bottom too. Put you down there where you can see. I think I can put a white one here on the bottom too. of how tight. I'm going to keep my pocket knife out. Let's see. Okay. I need to make this part tight. Okay. Okay, got to make this part tighter. Too tight. Try it again. It's going to be a fine tune in between. So I kept my pocket knife out. Still not. Okay. I think I need more draw. So this is going to have to get cut off again. Okay, I've re-drilled my hole, but what it might require is that these are lengthened. So, but we're going to see. Alright, I only want it to be a couple of clicks. And I think what's going to happen, I think I need to tighten that down. And I think these need to be elongated. Need to be longer. Yeah, before you do that, you'll just put in one while it's held up there and you're not having to jiggle around with it. Two clicks. Do the other side the same way. And I may have to put on longer cable ties, I don't know. All right, 2 clicks. Now let's put one down here. Woohoo! Time to go out and give it the jack acid test. Okay, that needs a handle right there. I think that's going to work. Okay, I think that's going to work. I think I need to put a handle right here sticking out. Okay, but other than that, I think it's going to work. This works good with working the switch. It's works real easy. I'm sure these cable ties will stretch and I'll have to replace them. It's possible they'll move and I'll have to do something about that and the whole bunch of stuff. But I can get to the battery and change the battery without killing myself. So yeah, I think this may be a simple solution that costs me a couple dollars of cable ties. Really not even a couple dollars. Probably 20 cents worth of cable ties and some scrap wood and a little bit of time today. So that's what homesteaders do. That's the way we work. It's just one of those things. You mend, make do with what you've got. I had this Bauer. I bought this and a chainsaw and something else, and a weed eater. I bought this chainsaw and a weed eater. And one of those deals you buy two batteries and you get two tools, or you get a free tool. And then they had one, you buy two tools if you buy a battery. So I bought 3 batteries and I got a chainsaw, this, and a chainsaw, this, and a weed eater for right at $200. Well, and 3 batteries to go with them. This is the 3 amp hour battery. I've got a couple of 5 amp hour batteries. So, and this battery I think is a little low because this wasn't going real quick. I think this battery's weak. It's set all winter. I didn't charge it before I started this, but I didn't figure I had to. This was a proof of concept, you know? So, this is what we do on a homestead. It's rained now for 4 days, so everything is just too wet to get out and work in the garden. So, it's time to do a little shop time. I need to do a little shop time cleaning this nasty hole up. My main problem is I have more stuff in the shop than I have room to put it. That's the main problem. I've got things on every wall. Every inch of wall space about it is covered. I've got too much scrap wood in here. I need to get the scrap wood out, but I was planning on using the lean-to where the Easy Go is for the scrap wood when I got the tractor shed done, and I had to stop work on the tractor shed, and y'all know why. So yeah, I think this is going to work. Is it the safest thing? Probably not, but the reason I wanted it to lean back like this, I wanted this to have this well out in front of me, because I have a problem with feeling my feet. And I don't always know exactly where they are in relation to the rest of my body because of my multiple sclerosis. So I didn't want to be cutting on nothing that was important. So this sticks out in front of me a long distance. So it should work out good. I may find that my cable ties, after using it for an extended period of time, they might have to get retightened and eventually break. And I have to put heavier duty cable ties on it. After just that little bit out there, I saw that I needed a handle right here. I need to drill a hole and put a round handle right there. Probably just a piece of log from out there out in the yard where we've had a fall. Probably just a piece of stick that I'll drill a hole and put it in there. Now, okay, here's a close-up. 2 cable ties on a T handle. That comes up. There's a handle. 2 cable ties on the trigger. Okay, one at each end. Then a cable tie down to the trigger bar, and the trigger bar goes right there under that, and when you pull the handle, okay, and of course up here when you pull the handle, and then this is fastened right there, and then right here I can still pull this up just a little. See, I can pull it up a little if I need to, and I can get to the battery and change the battery. So there it is. If you like this stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homesteading stuff every week, sometimes 1, sometimes 5 videos. Just depends on what's going on in the homestead that week. Now if you hit the little bell, it'll be right up here when you come to the channel. It'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, with the occasional short on Saturday and through the week. Now, time for me to get on to the next thing. I love you all.